got a phone call from your doctor stating that your teenage daughter has a sexually transmitted infection. Better yet, what would you say to her when you found out that it was HPV? My name is Nicole, and today that is exactly what I'm going to talk about. Sexually transmitted infections are becoming more and more known, and more research is being done to find cures for these diseases. But what if you could help your child prevent your child from getting these diseases? To what extent would you go to keep your child aware and make them understand that they have consequences of their actions? In my speech today, that is what I'm going to talk about. HPV, or human papillomavirus. I'm going to break down the definition for you and let you know some of the facts about it. I'm also going to talk about the Gardasil shot and how effective that it might be. Then lastly, I'm going to talk to you about my own personal experience with dealing with HPV and being diagnosed with it. By the conclusion of my speech, I would like my audience to have better understanding of HPV, what it is, and how they can begin to help keep their children safe from this type of disease. Let's get right into it and learn exactly what HPV is. HPV is considered a persistent sexually transmitted infection that is caused by any group associated with the development of cervical cancer or genital warts. That came directly from the book of Exploring the Dimensions of Human Sexuality. Up to 75% of those who are sexually active will contract some form of HPV within their lifetime. Many of those will be completely unaware that they have it because it is asymptomatic in many. With that being said, most don't show symptoms that they have it, they don't know, and their bodies are immune to it, so they don't need to do anything about it. If you do show symptoms of it, there's 4 main strains of the virus that you will get. There's 2 strains that are considered cervical cancer strains, and they can cause cervical cancer, and there's also 2 that cause genital warts. You can have both strains at the same time, or strains that they will go away on their own, and you'll never know. Research does show that males are the carriers of the sexually transmitted infection, but they have yet to find proof in STD testing that they are able to cure it from them. As of right now, there is really no cure for HPV. Many are able to get rid of it on their own, or those who have it, have genital warts, they can treat it with medicine that is prescribed by their doctor, or when you have cervical cancer, you go through your doctor's appointments and stuff like that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. You're thinking to yourself, what can I do to keep my child from going through this? The Gardasil shot is probably your number one choice. It is recommended by doctors that all females that are sexually active get the Gardasil shot, but they have found that it is more effective in those who get it prior to them becoming sexually active. The main reason for the Gardasil shot is to prevent those 4 strands of the disease, the 2 that cause genital warts and the 2 that cause cervical cancer. Although the shot is not 100% effective, it greatly decreases a woman's chance of getting these 4 strains of the disease. Along with that, make sure that you have regular pap smears done by your doctor. They need to make sure that there's no ill effects from the Gardasil shot, or you have any other sexually transmitted infections. Now that you're aware of the background and possible ways that you can prevent your child or someone you love from getting this disease, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my experience. Questions that I asked you at the beginning of my speech, truthfully, are the exact way that I found out that I had it. My mom got a phone call from the doctor, and she confronted me about it. She was really freaked out until we found that it is a very common disease. They actually, a lot of the times, doctors will not consider it sexually transmitted infection because so many people in the world have it. I was diagnosed with it when I was 14 years old. I was completely unaware of what HPV was, what it caused, anything like that. I was oblivious. Luckily for me, even though I was diagnosed with HPV at the age of 19, my doctors were able to help me and give me medicine that would help me out. I went in for surgery in 2006. I had level 2 cervical cancer, so they had to go in and remove parts of my cervix in order to keep me healthy. I am proud to say that I am now 3 years free of cancer. And I hope that everybody learned something from this. So before you go scheduling your child for a doctor's appointment or anything like that, I just want to recap what we talked about today. Today I talked about HPV, or what is a lot more commonly known as human papillomavirus. Went over the definition of it, as well as background information so everybody can know about it. Went over the Gardasil shot, what it does and how effective it could be. And lastly, I talked about my own personal experience with HPV and how it has affected me. If you do want to know any of my resources, you can send me a message or ask me to send you a copy of my outline. It has all my bibliography information in it. Thank you for your time.